How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Movies with Blaine Childress. I'm your host, Blaine Childress, and on today's episode, I have a special guest that I'm pretty sure none of you have heard of. Thatonefilmmaker. He's a famous YouTuber with 1 million subscribers, talks about movies, and he makes movies, and he does it all pretty much. Everyone loves him, nobody hates him. That YouTuber is Thatonefilmmaker. Blake Childress, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm so good. I make good movies.
Thank you. That's all this podcast is about. We're going to talk about how great you are.
Okay,
that's it, everybody. Thanks for listening to the episode. Bye-bye.
Okay, but for real, that was Blake this whole time. This is actually Blaine Childress. Welcome back to the Talking Movies with Blaine Childress podcast.
No, I'm another version of you from another dimension.
The evil Blaine Childress?
Yeah, I'm the evil clone that was created of you. I've come here to shoot you in the face.
So, how are you today, Blake? How are you feeling?
My therapist says I'm fine.
The voices in my head says otherwise.
No, because the therapist itself is a voice in my head. I don't have a therapist.
That's hilarious.
That's so funny, making fun of mental health.
So, let's get started with some movie and TV news.
We have to have sound effects. That's what criticism we've had is we need to have sound effects and like a song. So, movie news.
Thanks.
All right.
First up on the news agenda, how Adam Sandler's Hubie Halloween landed one of his funniest cameos. What do you think of Adam Sandler?
What cameo are they talking about? Because I watched it. Is it talking the opening part? Read it for an uncomfortable amount of time where there's silence in the podcast.
Ben Stiller, his character from Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, let me explain this to the audience. So, Adam Sandler has released his newest film, Hubie, Scooby Dooby Doo Halloween.
Scooby's Halloween.
And I watched it, and
I didn't watch it because I didn't want to.
Yeah, I don't blame you. First of all, this is not the film that he was talking about with Uncut Gems, where he said, my next movie is going to be intentionally terrible.
Has he said that it wasn't?
He said he said that, when I asked Trent...
He said that this was supposed to be a
No, I asked Trent about it, and he said how this movie was shot before Uncut Gems. So this movie cannot be, the movie he was talking about. But this movie, it was... what's stupid about it is, specifically with that news of Ben Stiller's cameo, is that Adam Sandler is trying to create his own, what he literally called a Sandler-verse in his movies, which doesn't make any sense, because first of all, the character that Ben Stiller plays is from Happy Gilmore. And then there's a part where Adam Sandler's character is riding a bike, and there's some kids that are starting to follow him and prank him, and one of them just yells, "A Doyle rules," which was something that was said in the movie Billy Madison. But Adam Sandler is always different in those movies. They can't all be in the same universe because Adam Sandler is always different. I mean, he's different in this movie. He's a different character.
Well, maybe it's like it's the same actor, but it's just playing different characters.
And so, in the universe, there's just
all
multiple...
these characters just look like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, so it's like in the universe, just Adam Sandler is just always a different person in every single situation. So Adam Sandler is the Stan Lee of this universe.
Yes, just like how he's the Stan Lee of our universe.
He's always there.
He's always there, just doing stuff.
I would like him to cameo in all of my movies.
Let me see what
that was so funny, dude.
No Time to Die director reveals how it felt the first time Bond 25 was delayed.
Yeah, well, it's been delayed again to 2022, I believe.
Dude, do you
we already know COVID has ruined the film year, so the Oscars this year are going to be dry. I'd rather it not happen, to be honest. Well, actually, no, scratch that. I would like it to happen because I would love them to be like, all right, Best Picture nominees,
just make a bunch
Birds of Prey, Hubie Halloween. It's all a bunch of just terrible movies, and they'd be like, okay, Birds of Prey, yeah.
Birds of Prey
We
wins
won!
Best Picture.
Like, I would love them to try and judge between the movies that have come out this year, because it has just been awful. But, I mean, there have been some good movies, but it's just none of the ones that have been good are movies that aren't supposed to win Oscars.
Yeah.
Like something like I'm Thinking of Ending Things. That's not going to win an Oscar.
It probably might.
I mean,
it's like the only, like, one of the only competent, like, films that came out this year.
I mean, I remember I talked with somebody about I'm Thinking of Ending Things the other day. I was like, oh yeah, what did you think of it? They're like, it's awful. It's terrible. I hate it so much.
Well, yeah, I guess a movie like that.
The Oscars is not about awarding
subjective.
the greatest movie. It's about awarding the most culturally defining movie to the people.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what the Best Picture's new definition has been defined as, pretty much.
I guess.
Next topic.
Sylvester Stallone can't stop, won't stop giving updates on his superhero movie.
Yes!
Sylvester Stallone's making a superhero movie? I didn't know.
What is it? Is it like, is Marvel? Is it DC? Is it nothing? Is it going to be a one-off, just piece of crap? He can't play like a young superhero. He's an old man. So is it going to be like a Logan kind of thing? Except what's
It's called Samaritan. 2020 has been a tough year for everyone, including movie fans. Many of us entered the year filled with excitement about the slew of major movies that were on top. Fortunately, we've only gotten film delays and theater closings for the majority of the year. Needless to say, it's always refreshing whenever good news comes our way. As of late, Sylvester Stallone has provided quite a bit of it by updating fans on the production of his upcoming superhero film, Samaritan, and his posts have been pretty delightful. Filming for Samaritan originally began earlier this year before it halted in March due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Since then, Stallone has spent most of the time working on a director's cut of Rocky IV. Callback to our first episode where we talked about Rocky IV.
Yeah.
But at the end of September, he announced on Instagram that filming for Samaritan had resumed? And even dropped some rough images from the production. Check them out for yourself below.
Let me see.
They look like that. If you guys want to see what the images look like, just look up Samaritan Sylvester Stallone on Google.
They look so blurry and crappy. It's like classic rough images from production stills.
Yeah.
They're all just terrible. So
a week later, Stallone treated curious fans to another tease. This time he posted what appeared to be 2 early pieces of promotional art for the movie.
So wait, is it related to anything, or is it just a one-off on its own thing?
Let me read. I guess for the rest of the movie news, we're just going to focus on this than any other topics. This is actually pretty interesting. Less than a week later, Stallone treated... I already read that. And this is what the poster, I guess, looks like.
Samaritan. So I guess it's just him helping some young kid. He's a good Samaritan. That's the twist. He's not actually a superhero. He's just a good guy.
Samaritan is set to be somewhat of a departure from typical superhero fare, as in all superhero movies are supposed to be not like superhero movies, as it's said to be a darker and more grounded take on the genre, like we haven't seen that before. Unbreakable. We've yet to see exactly how this is the case, but Sylvester Stallone has shared an image of himself having scars and burns applied to his face, so it looks like things are going to get a bit chippy.
What is that supposed to mean? A bit chippy.
This is the picture of him playing.
Wow, that's some good makeup.
That's some amazing makeup.
That means the movie will be
Although
good.
a number of movies and TV shows are back in production, things are vastly different than they were earlier in the year, as sets have now established new safety measures to protect cast and crew members. And even with those in place, issues can still arise if someone tests positive for the virus. This, however, doesn't seem to be the case for Samaritan, since Stallone most recently mentioned that filming is going absolutely great. He also included another look at his superpowered character, just a hooded guy.
So yeah, Unbreakable.
It literally just looks like an Unbreakable clone. There aren't too many specific plot details on Samaritan at this time, as is the case with any superhero project.
Yeah, because all superhero projects always have news.
There's always mystery. What we know so far is that it tells the story of a young boy who discovers that a superhero long thought to have vanished after a major battle is still around decades later. It's literally Unbreakable. It's literally just the story of Unbreakable. Sylvester Stallone has touted this film as a passion project, and his enthusiasm is more than apparent, through his updates, on social media. It's not surprising that Sylvester Stallone would headline a superhero film, though many would have probably expected it to come earlier in his career, but better than late than never, I suppose. We'll see what Stallone has in store for us when Samaritan arrives in theaters on June 4th, 2021. So whenever that comes around, we're definitely going to watch it and probably make fun of it because it looks terrible so far.
Hey, it's June 4th. You know what that means? It's not a dump movie. It's trying to be a summer blockbuster.
Who knows?
Which, I mean, with COVID, let's hope that it's better by next year. But, I mean, sure, the images looked a little weird, and yeah, it is just funny how, like, this has never been done before. We have never done a realistic superhero movie.
There's never been...
I think they're meaning that Sylvester Stallone has never done a realistic superhero movie.
Probably not.
Which, come on, Dredd, Judge Dredd. Everyone's favorite superhero movie. I am the law! You haven't seen Judge Dredd, please watch that.
What if he says that during...
He's like, hey, all you guys in the back have seen Judge Dredd. You'll like this part. I am the law. You ever seen Judge Dredd?
No.
It's a great movie.
It's hilarious.
I love it because Rob Schneider's in it, which makes it even better.
Oh, yeah. So, that's probably going to do it for film news.
Sylvester Stallone took us over.
Yeah, we
can't stop talking about Sylvester Stallone, dude. We have to talk about him.
We have to mention Sylvester Stallone in every single episode, some way or somehow. So, but we're doing things a little different for this episode.
What? I don't like difference.
Sort of like the last episode where we sort of didn't have like some movies to talk about. We're going to do the same thing for this one. But for this episode, we're going to do something really interesting in light of Tenet being not so good, coming from a filmmaker that we trust with making a good movie, Christopher Nolan. He's like a genius, like a film genius. But Tenet still turned out the way it did. So that kind of got me thinking of other examples of good directors or somewhat respected directors.
Good directors gone bad.
Making terrible, awful movies. Just like, how often is that? And can we make like a correlation between this and Christopher Nolan, and
like why?
Try to figure out why good, competent directors can make bad movies sometimes. So I'm going on this list on Cinema Blend. To be honest, I'm going to give a shout out to Cinema Blend because it's the website that we do the film news on, and it's the list of the movies. I highly recommend Cinema Blend if you really like movies. Go on Cinema Blend to get your fix on movie news, updates, and...
This episode is sponsored by CinemaBlend.com.
No, it isn't. Stop it.
We are getting paid.
No, we're not. But I guess, yeah, and this website also has, like, fun, like, little lists of different, like, varying topics. So I highly recommend going on Cinema Blend.
Wow, Blaine, that's so cool. You know what I would like right now? The refreshing taste of Coca-Cola.
Which is just nothing but ads.
We need to make an episode where like every 5 minutes there's an advertisement
for something. So let's go through this list, give our opinions. Keep in mind we haven't seen every single movie on this list. Obviously,
we're just gonna probably just judge the directors.
Yeah,
and the concept of like, oh yeah, they made a bad movie at one point.
Yeah. So first up on the list, Gilmo Del Toro.
Excuse me, it's Guillermo. What did you say? Did you say Gilmo? Gilmo Del Toro.
Guillermo Del Toro.
Guillermo.
Blade 2. So, I've seen Blade 2, and honestly, Blade 2 is probably the best one out of the Blade movies.
Whoa, Blaine, you're already being different? What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
So you're saying that actually Guillermo Del Toro went good?
It's still a Blade movie.
Okay, so it's still bad.
But, I mean, it's definitely the best one out of the three of them, because from, like, what I remember, the first Blade was just really lame and boring.
Lame and boring.
And Blade 3, Blade Trinity, was just stupid and awful and just made terrible decisions. Ryan Reynolds is in it, which is hilarious. I don't know why in the Deadpool movies they have never made a Blade joke. Have they?
I don't know. I mean...
They must have, because Blade's a superhero movie. And
wait, what was Josh Brolin's character's name?
Cable.
For some reason I thought his name was Blade for a second. I thought that was the joke.
His name is Blade. No, they probably did a Blade joke here and there in one of the movies. But, no. So what do you think of Guillermo Del Toro?
Guillermo Del Toro is a very interesting director. That's one thing I can say about his movies, is that, like, there's not a single movie of his that I can say is like, oh yeah, this has no style or vision. Like, he's obviously a guy that cares about, style and making sure that whatever he's making has his own distinct vision. You can definitely see that
style in Blade 2 with all the different, like, vampire designs and, like, the creature. Because that's, like, what he's, like, known for is his, like, creature effects and how they look interesting. Mm-hmm. And there was definitely some interesting vampire designs that he really perfected in that movie. What's your favorite Guillermo del Toro movie?
I'm still really into Shape of Water, which still people are very against because, you know, woman has sex with fish.
Won Best Picture.
Yeah, it won. That was one of the only moments of the Oscars that I was happy about.
Yeah.
But I like Shape of Water too. I like it. I understand why people don't like it because, again, I mean, I'm not saying bestiality is okay, but I don't know. It was a very interesting movie. But
for those of you who don't know, Shape of Water is about basically the creature of Black Lagoon. If he falls, basically the story of Beauty and the Beast, but instead of a beast, it's the creature from the Black Lagoon, like a fish man from the Amazons. And then it takes place like in the 50s, and it's about like the government like doing tests on this like fish creature.
And like Michael Shannon's trying to like kill him.
And Michael Shannon plays the villain,
like always,
as he always does. And Sally Hawkins is her name, right?
Yeah,
she plays a deaf lady who falls in love with this fish creature. Tries to get her, and she tries to get the creature out of this government facility.
This is unrelated, but have you seen that one Michael Shannon movie where he isn't a villain and he's just like he's the main protagonist, and the movie opens with him like finding his wife cheating on him with Ron Perlman in a furry costume?
What?
This
is a movie?
This is an actual movie. It's really funny.
What's it called?
Just look up Michael Shannon like Christmas movie. I forgot what it was called.
Christmas movie?
Because it's a Christmas movie.
Is it new or is
it's a little old because like I think the plot of it was that he was so mad about his wife being a furry and cheating on him that he got mad and got dressed up in a Bigfoot costume and just went out in the forest and just started terrorizing people.
Wait, hold on. I'm looking this up. This sounds amazing. I'm going to watch this.
Like he starts terrorizing people, and then people are like, "Oh my God, Bigfoot exists, and we have him in our town." And so, in order to help the town receive more publicity, he decides to basically be the town's Bigfoot. It's a very odd movie.
Pottersville?
Yeah, Pottersville. That's what it's called.
It was released 2017. Maynard.
Maynard.
Maynard. Maynard. A beloved local businessman is mistaken for the legendary Bigfoot during an inebriated romp through town.
Inebriated when he's drunk. Yeah.
Romp through town in a makeshift gorilla costume.
It's really funny.
This looks amazing.
Yeah, we have to get back on topic. But I when you just said Michael Shannon's always the bad guy, I was like, well, there's this one movie I know.
It's got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, you know it's pretty good.
It's awesome. So let's keep.
Oh, well, I know how to connect that to Guillermo Del Toro, Ron Perlman.
Hellboy.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I'm smart.
It all connects. It all connects.
I'm not stupid.
Next one, David Lynch's Dune. So was that a bad movie?
I heard that it was. I think the problem people had with it was David Lynch. He wanted to make something very like close to the original Dune book, but I think his vision was so large and grandiose, like and bigger than like Star Wars.
Here's what the thing said. David Lynch had a tremendous task cut out for him in Dune, and by most metrics to this day, he failed. The man who perfectly captured the life of the Elephant Man somehow couldn't find a proper way to adapt Frank Herbert's classic in a way that could be easily understood by its audience. The movie is widely considered a miss for Lynch. And while he's come close with a couple features, it's the only movie of his considered rotten by critics on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
David Lynch.
That's the problem with it is I think he wanted to make a movie that was close to the book, but the studio just told him you can't go that big, like with this new movie that's coming out. So he decided he had to like make some changes to it, and I guess those changes were pretty bad. I think there's a director's cut, or I heard maybe that he's working on a director's cut since it is his only movie that he like considers a disappointment. But yeah, that's all I know about it. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, me neither.
And yeah, that's pretty much all I know. Is just it's not that close to the book at all.
I'm really looking forward to that new Dune movie made by the guy that directed
Blade Runner 2049.
2049 and Prisoners.
I'll check it out just because it's the only one of the only new movies I'm hearing about. But
yeah, it looks really visually like amazing.
I'm not sure if they're gonna do sequels.
That really isn't a surprise because it's from the Blade Runner 2049.
Because there's a lot of sequels to the original Dune novel. I think there's like 5 books.
I think they're trying to make like a whole series. And it really looks like Star Wars. Like it's really reminiscent of. Like,
it just looks like Star Wars if it all took place on the Naboo, whatever place it was called, planet.
Tatooine.
Yeah, with the little guys. What are they called? The Oompa Loompas.
Not the Ewoks. I don't know what the little. The little guys.
They got the little like guns in their hands.
Oh, Tusken Raiders.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of.
I thought you were thinking about the little guys.
I was also thinking of that. I think I just blended them together when I watched Star Wars.
No, there was the Tusken Raiders, and I don't know what the little guys that wear like coats or like robes.
I feel like they were Ewoks. No, that was in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that was
on the Ewok planet.
That was the 6th one.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the little guys that sold Luke the C-3PO.
Oh, yeah.
The little guys that wear like robes and stuff. I don't know what they're called though. Speaking of Star Wars, the next movie is George Lucas's Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, which I don't agree that's the worst one. I definitely think Attack of the Clones is the worst one.
Yep.
Boy howdy is that movie stupid.
That's a word. Boy howdy.
That movie is garbage and boring.
Yeah, seriously, Attack of the Clones is like actual poo-poo.
It's literally a scene with Anakin and Padme in like a field, and they're like trying to be romantic. And it's a Star Wars movie. I didn't come here to see sands, coarse and rough, not like your skin.
I don't like sand.
I don't like sand.
It's probably just one of those late night moments where George Lucas is just like
writes that, and he's like, "Oh my god, that's so good."
And he's probably like high. It's just, oh man.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah. Or no, maybe he has a personal vendetta against sand. So he's like, all right, this is going to be the movie.
Hates sand.
He's like, this is going to be the movie where I finally reveal my hatred to sand. I mean, he's right.
I hate dust.
Sand sucks. I hate dust. I hate dust. No, wait, next podcast, we're talking about the amazing bulk. We're talking about that for the class. Okay, no. This is what we're gonna do: Incredible Hulk and the Amazing Bulk. I don't care what you say. That is a good idea.
Yes. Next podcast, we're talking about the
movie
Bulk.
that is completely shot on green screen.
How can we even watch that?
Is it online? It has to be, right? It has to be one of those like things you can watch on those free streaming services. Yeah, if you don't know what the Amazing Bulk is, the Amazing Bulk was
you can buy it, I guess.
It's a
I don't want to buy it.
It's a mockumentary of the Incredible Hulk, but the problem with mockumentaries is like
it's on Tubi.
Not mockumentary. What's it called? Mockbuster. Yeah. The problem is
2012.
The problem with the movie is that it intentionally like tries to
be crappy.
Yeah, it's
like banking on the select few of like movie reviewers and stuff like that ironically like bad movies. So
but like
sort of banking off that.
But the reason why a movie like The Room is so, we should just save this for if we ever talk about it.
We'll save this discussion for when we talk about the Bulk, the Amazing Bulk.
I hate dust.
But no, George Lucas hates sand.
Yeah.
But the Phantom Menace isn't that bad. It puts the Phantom Menace. I definitely think
Phantom Menace is not historically, but it's like if a person wants to talk about like, oh yeah, when Star Wars went bad, they always poke fun at Phantom Menace. And I'm not saying Phantom Menace is good. It's still not a good movie. It
probably was the most disappointing of them though.
Yeah, because
fans were waiting for like the new Star Wars, and that was like the first one.
Like you go from like Return of the Jedi, everyone's excited. And you watch Phantom Menace, and people are like, huh, I need to watch that again. I don't know what I think about it. Then they watch it again, and they're like, wow, this sucks.
Yeah.
I feel like people hate it just from disappointment.
Yeah. At the time, it was definitely like that, but now looking back at it...
It's honestly probably one of the best.
It's probably not as bad as Attack of the Clones.
Like, it's not the greatest, but I mean, like, compare it to the newest Star Wars movies, like, it's
alright.
It's okay.
Next movie, Martin Scorsese's Boxcar Bertha.
I don't know what that is. I'm not talking about it. You can talk about it alone.
Okay, thanks. All right, bye. So Boxcar Bertha was Scorsese's second movie. I mean, you can talk about Martin Scorsese.
No, I don't want to.
You can come back.
I like Taxi Driver. I like King of Comedy. I like.
I was about to say The Godfather, but that's not what it is. What was it called? Irishman.
When it comes to violent movies that revolve around a world of crime, typically Martin Scorsese is the guy to call.
He's just a crime guy.
That said, that wasn't known back when he made Boxcar Bertha, which was only his second directorial feature at the time. Hilariously, though, most of the complaints were due to the violence, which is often a criticism Scorsese has gotten for successive films that are now considered masterpieces. Fortunately, Boxcar Bertha has not been nearly as acclaimed as the rest. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I have heard that it's like the most like it's his worst, and it just doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a Scorsese movie. It just feels
it is his second feature, right?
Yeah, so like.
I don't really blame him. He probably just didn't have his style chosen by then.
He just didn't have his style down yet.
What was that one movie? I remember I was just looking up his filmography and I found it and I was like, this is a movie he made? The movie he made where it was like a musical starring Robert De Niro.
Oh, New York, New York.
Yeah, didn't people not like that just because it was a musical by Martin Scorsese?
I think, yeah.
Robert De Niro in a musical. That sounds
I love Martin Scorsese.
Great movie.
It's one of my favorite filmmakers.
Okay.
Ever seen Wolf of Wall Street?
No.
It's pretty good.
I refuse to watch it.
Why?
There's too much bad things happening in that movie. I can only watch good movies that where good things,
lessons.
good Christian values. Have you ever seen the Veggie Tales movies? Those are good movies.
Those are the only
movies I'm allowed to watch from my mom. My mom does not let me watch anything else. I'm like, Mom, I want to watch Wolf of Wall Street. Does it have Jesus in it? No. Veggie Tales.
That's it. Next movie. Tim Burton, Dark Shadows. What do you think of that?
Whiplash. It's like, next movie. What?
Dark Shadows, Tim Burton. What do you think of it? I don't really even think Tim Burton's even all that good. That's a big.
I think he's made.
That's a big statement. I'm gonna say.
I think he's made more. I don't think I'd call them bad movies. It's just like Tim Burton has a style that is so of its own accord that it's kind of just not for everyone.
Yeah.
Which we have our own directors where we love their movies so much, but just everyone else isn't really into them, like the Safdie brothers. But with Tim Burton, yeah, I'd agree. A lot of his movies are just very weird.
Like the Alice in Wonderland movies.
Like I can say Tim Burton has a very great visuals with his movies. They all look good. I think what's the problem with them is everything else.
I literally only like. Wait, did Tim Burton do Nightmare Before?
Yes, that was his.
I like that one. I like Ed Wood, and I like Edward Scissorhands, and I like the Batman movies that he made. And that's it. Everything else I don't really like, or I think it's kind of trash.
So they're saying like that's one of his worst movies is Dark Shadows, which yeah, it makes sense.
I've never seen this too. It's Johnny Depp vampire movies.
It was based on I think it was a comic series, but yeah, it was. I watched some clips from it, and I don't even know if it's just like bad. I think it's just boring. It's just a very meh movie, which is pretty much how you describe all Tim Burton movies now. Like, at least back then it was either bad, good, but now it's just all same thing.
Bland.
Yeah. Did you ever see the Dumbo movie?
No.
No? Okay, let's not talk about it then. Let's forget it ever existed.
Good. Peter Jackson, The Lovely Bones. So you know a little bit more about this than I do.
Yeah, I watched a review of it, but yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm trying to remember what was wrong with it. I think
Peter Jackson, as some of you probably know, director of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Mm-hmm. He's made. What was that one documentary he made a few years ago that a lot of people loved, where it was like it colorized old like World War, was it 1 or 2 footage?
Oh yeah, the World War 1 colorized footage.
Yeah, I heard that was pretty good, but I don't even really remember why, because I watched a review of The Lovely Bones, and I remember it was just like I don't really remember much criticism. I think the movie just had it had a really weird plot. Which I guess that's just because of the book, since it's based on a book. Mm-hmm. But I guess read it. What's on there?
Peter Jackson is known for a lot of things, but paranormal thrillers aren't really his bag. Sure, Frodo did turn invisible a handful of times in The Lord of the Rings, but even in the context of all he'd done before this movie, The Lovely Bones was pretty out there film for Jackson. Of course, that was part of the point, as Jackson went on the record saying he enjoyed doing something that wasn't a large-scale epic for once. 3 years later, he was doing The Hobbit, though it's worth noting he wasn't the first choice.
Yeah, that's the one thing I remember.
So what's the movie about?
It's like about a girl that she's just a normal teenage girl, and then she gets like raped by some like pedophile, and then the pedophile murders her. And then in her like death, she tries to figure out a way to like solve her own murder and like help people in the real world like find the guy that killed her. And I remember like the only scene I think I can remember is the actual like rape scene was very awkward, where it's just like it's stupid because it's just like some guy who's out in a field and he has like a weird bunker thing, and the main character girl is there, and he's like, "Come inside," and she's like, "Okay," and she just goes inside. It's like, why would you go in some random person's bunker? I don't even know what he says. I think he just starts talking about like kid stuff. He's like, I like Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse good. And I also remember, this is a spoiler alert, but I don't think you're gonna watch this movie anyway.
Spoiler alert for The Lovely Bones. By the way, if you want to watch it, I guess.
Or just move forward. But basically, in the ending of the movie, I think the guy that killed her like goes away. Like, I guess he runs away after being found out, and she tries to like punish him for this, and she literally like as a ghost causes like a it's either her or all the kids he's killed, but like they get like an icicle to like crack, and then it like falls down on his head as he's like outside trying to like pee or something, and then after it hits him, he falls down a mountain and he dies. That's all I can remember from the ending. But yeah, I can agree with that. I think it's good for a director if you're tired of just making big epic Lord of the Rings movies
and want to make a movie on a smaller scale.
Which, I mean, that's something you can appreciate about it, but it's just stupid.
Yeah, definitely
sucks.
This next one, Steven Spielberg's Hook. That's a big take.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I think Hook itself, I think it's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, but I think the audience rating is pretty good.
Yeah, it says it has a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes, so...
Yeah, so, I mean, it is a little weird. I mean, like, doesn't Robin Williams play Peter Pan?
Yes, Robin Williams played Peter Pan.
It just sounds like a weird idea. Like, let's have Robin Williams, this adult man, play Peter Pan. Like, it's a weird idea, but I mean, I guess audiences liked it.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if you can just safely say, like, oh yeah, Steven Spielberg,
the movie was called unimaginative, and the effects were not well integrated, and the overall story was garbled down by too many Hollywood ideals. Perhaps the biggest criticism was that it had such a great premise, but did so little to further adapt or bring in elements from the original story.
I mean, again, I've never seen Hooked. Hooked. Hoodwinked. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I've never seen Hook. I can't safely say if it's bad or good. Blaine, you've never seen Hook?
No.
Okay, so if you're listening to this, Hook, good or bad? Comment down below in the comments. Do we have comments?
No.
Dang it.
Next one, Ridley Scott, A Good Year. Have you ever heard of that?
Nope. Blaine, I'm uncultured. Even if I'm named that one filmmaker, I'm pretty uncultured.
Well, we can talk about Ridley Scott.
I like Alien.
I like Alien.
Aliens. That he didn't do that.
He didn't do that one.
That's all I can think of. What else did he make? Seriously, that's
all. He
all.
did Prometheus, and didn't he direct Alien Covenant?
Yeah, but I'm talking like other movies he's done. Like, why are we can only think about Alien because that's the only one we've seen.
Here, let me look up like his filmography.
Because I can't think of. He did All the Money in the World. We saw that.
Yeah, and he also did Blade Runner.
Oh, dude, we're so uncultured and stupid.
So yeah, Alien, Blade Runner, Gladiator. Oh
yeah.
Black Hawk Down, Good Year, American Gangster, Robin Hood.
Oh yeah, was American Gangster? Is that with Denzel Washington?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all I can think of is, like, I know some of his movies. It's just, I've only seen Alien.
All the Money in the World. I mean, All the Money in the World was pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen Alien, All the Money in the World.
He also did
the new Alien movies they've made. Oh, dude, Martian is good. Okay, so maybe...
Exodus, Gods and Kings,
wasn't that terrible?
What's it called? Okay. This is the Moses movie.
Ew.
I thought this was the Noah movie for a second. But yeah, Blade Runner. Have you ever seen Blade Runner?
Nope. I've seen 2049 though.
Ever seen Gladiator?
Nope. Again, uncultured.
But yeah, The Martian was pretty good.
Okay, yeah, okay, so yeah, so I guess what I would say is Ridley Scott didn't go bad. He's doing good work today.
He just has a lot of bad movies that he's made over the years.
I mean, like, what's this movie that we're talking about?
A Good Year.
What is it about?
Released in 2006.
So it's a recent movie?
2006. I mean,
14 years.
If you consider 2006 recent.
Pretty recent.
Hold on.
I was 3 years old at the time.
I was 6.
Really?
Yeah.
How can you prove it?
My age is what the year is. So in 2006, I was 6 years old. Okay, so Failed London banker Max Skinner, played by Russell Crowe, inherits his uncles, played by Albert Finney. Inherits his uncle's vineyard in Providence, where he spent many childhood holidays. Upon his arrival, he meets a woman from California who tells Max she is his long-lost cousin and that the property is hers.
Kind of sounds boring, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
it's on HBO Max if you want to
check that out.
See why it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing okay now. His career wasn't ruined by this single movie.
Yeah.
But hey, it was one of his more modern films. So
this is 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
so,
take that for what you will.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, he did do The Martian, and that was nominated for a few Oscars. So again, and also All Money in the World. Yeah, All Money in the World also got nominated for some Oscars. So yeah, I guess sometimes he does great work. Sometimes a good year he does bad. And that's how the cookie.
You could say the year that A Good Year came out
was a bad year. That was the most pathetic high five I've ever had.
And finally, we're getting to our last movie, David Fincher's Alien 3.
The greatest film ever made. Ridley Scott's Alien.
Speaking of Alien, David Fincher's Alien 3.
Let's first of all talk Alien. Good movie.
Good movie.
Good horror movie.
Good horror movie. I think it's the best Alien movie.
Aliens. Action.
Aliens, also really good.
Action / horror.
James Cameron.
People really like it. Sequel god, according to most. Alien 3. Hated.
It's probably the worst in the series. But it's made by David Fincher, which is he's one of my favorite top 3 filmmakers of all time.
I'd argue Alien Resurrection is the worst, to be honest.
Well, according to Rotten Tomatoes, says otherwise.
That is sad.
And a lot of different reviewers.
Have you seen Alien Resurrection?
No.
Alien Resurrection is I'll say it. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it for this recording. I'll edit it out if it isn't. It's an abortion of a movie. Is that allowed?
I guess. I don't know. Pretty sure you could say abortion.
It is a mistake. It is terrible. It's like it feels like a cartoon compared to all the other ones. At least Alien 3 takes itself seriously, which I mean is a fault to some people because some people.
Alien 3?
I've seen clips, just like all movies. I've
actually watched Alien 3 recently.
I just heard people didn't like Alien 3 because it's so depressing, and it'd make you want to.
So basically, the whole movie is about
kill yourself.
So the whole movie is about Ripley, who after Aliens gets in a escape pod or like a spaceship, and they go into hypersleep at the end of that movie. And so Alien 3 picks up when she gets found by the ship sort of crash lands on this this
prison planet, and the little girl from the Aliens dies.
Spoiler for Alien 3, I guess.
It's like in the opening of the movie. She dies. The robot dude, he also dies.
The guy that she was with dies. Literally
every single person dies.
All the characters that you love from Aliens dies.
Yeah, so you can understand why people say it's too depressing.
And Ripley crash lands on this planet that's only men.
Yep.
There's only men on this planet, which I guess is kind of playing with her being a female being.
Yeah, because isn't the planet it's like a rapist planet? Yeah,
it's basically where criminals go to work in this refinery.
Which I think because one thing I heard from David Fincher is that Alien 3 is just a project that got away from him, where he tried to make it good, but then studio just always gets in the way of stuff. And but I think there's a lot of good ideas. Especially with. Because Alien 3 tried to go back to basics of how Alien was, where it's
and also with the plot, a face hugger was on the ship, and then it gets out, and then it infects a dog.
Because isn't it back to one alien, right? Yeah,
it infects a dog, and then an alien comes out, and it's just one alien. That's one of my biggest problems. Is that why would you go from Aliens, this big movie, and have all these aliens, raise the stakes even higher, because with each sequel, you're supposed to like raise the stakes even more and more and more. And then with this one, it's just one alien.
It may have
and we saw in Aliens how easy it was to kill just one alien. But there is this plot point that they don't have any weapons on the planet. Like, they don't have any, like, guns or anything.
Like,
so, they have to creatively, like, try to, like, come up with a way to kill it.
I'm pretty sure they were just wanting to go back to basics. Like, I think it's like, even though people love Aliens, Alien is its own thing. It's its own beast. It's a horror film. And, like, the greatest thing about Alien is how it has a sense of isolation with it. And I think that's one thing I think that's great about Alien 3 is you said that it's a prison planet where everyone's a guy and she's the only girl. Like, there's a lot of things with it that can be isolated. So I can see why Alien 3 is trying to be like the first movie. And I can respect it because, I mean, like, I've seen Alien and Aliens, and I prefer Alien since it's...
Wait, you prefer Aliens?
Yeah. No, not Aliens. Alien.
Yeah, I prefer Alien.
Yeah, it's just like... I don't know. I think the...
I much prefer horror tone than like a straight up action movie, which Aliens was.
I mean, Aliens has a lot of cool stuff, but it's just like with Alien, it's just such a good idea, you know? Mm-hmm.
But... Yeah, and David Fincher made this, and
Fincher.
Disappointed, but he redeemed himself afterwards by making Seven, which is one of the best crime psychological thrillers of all time, and he has a career
with lots of great movies.
Not to mention The Social Network, which we talked about also on this podcast.
Again, everything is always connected in this show.
All comes full circle. But... yeah, that was the list of good directors that go bad sometimes. So for you listeners out there, if you have to take anything from this episode of Talking Movies, just know that just because a great director is attached to a project, that doesn't mean that the movie is going to be great.
Mm-hmm. And also, one thing to know is if a great director makes a bad film, don't lose hope. Because sometimes none of us are perfect. And sometimes you make something and maybe it doesn't work out, but all you need to do is pick yourself back up again and try and make seven, you know?
But that's going to be all the time we have for today on Talking Movies. Any last words, Blake?
If you're going to rip off any movie, rip off Seven. Over and over and over.
And also rip off...
The Shape of Water.
Pottersville.
And
Michael Shannon.
Please, somebody remake Pottersville. I don't care. I'll do it. I'll get Michael Shannon to be back, but he'll actually be a Bigfoot creature. And I'll
put Michael Shannon in Bigfoot makeup.
I'll remake it with another person that's only been playing villains. Is there any other actors you can think of that only plays villains?
Kevin Spacey.
Okay, dude, I'm going to make a Kevin Spacey remake of Pottersville. I don't care what the critics say. I
don't care what SJW say.
I am making
Kevin Spacey.
Dude, have you seen those videos with Kevin Spacey, like, in his kitchen? He's just like, have you heard what all of them are saying about me? They're all wrong. Sometimes you may think ghosts are dead, but they're very much alive. It's like the creepiest videos I've ever seen.
He's a villain. He's literally a villain in movies and he's a villain in real life. Kevin Spacey is literally...
Look, what I know, Kevin Spacey did some terrible things, but I'm saying it. He's a talented villain, even in real life.
He can play a good villain because he's actually a villain.
Because I think the joke was in that video, he was playing a character that he played on a TV show.
From House of Cards.
Yeah, so people were like, is he playing a character or is this just him?
Dang.
Kevin Spacey, genius. That's another episode
That's
we're gonna do.
Gonna be a quote that I'm gonna quote you for the rest of your life.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
Genius. No.
Quote Blake Childress.
Next
2020.
next episode next episode after Bulk.
We're gonna do Kevin Spacey.
No, it's going to be a video that's literally just called Kevin Spacey is amazing. We love him. He's never done anything wrong.
We stand by that. If you disagree, you're a terrible person.
No, bro. No, what we need to do is we're rambling, but we need to make an episode.
You're just admitting that we're just rambling.
No, we need to make an episode where we do debates. Like we can do like we debate on a person like, oh yeah, I think this movie is great. You're like, well, I think this movie's terrible, and we just have an hour-long conversation about it, dude. And like we have a third person who's our debate moderator, and then it becomes the 2020 debate between Trump and Biden, and then we just start making fun of each other.
The movie version.
And our sons with that are addicted to cocaine or whatever happened in the debate. You're a clown. Shut up.
Shut up.
Just shut. What's that from? From YouTube? Just shut up.
It's the intro
to the Smosh.
Smosh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Trump is literally Smosh.
Bro, Trump is literally real life Smosh.
Well, that's gonna do it today, folks. Be sure to join us next time.
On the next time when we talk about Smosh the movie.
Smosh the movie and The Amazing Bulk. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next time.
Please subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Bye, everybody.